Welcome to Jool! Hello everyone, this is Artwick, and we bring you back to more Kerbals. Today, we are rejoining the Galileo station for the first in a long time for a series of events here at the brand new planet named Jool, which is, I think, the big goal of my campaign here, of my journey here. So this little, or rather really big planet right here, this green one, that's Jool. And that's the one that I really want to pay attention to. A little while ago, I think it was some months ago, I sent a mission here called Galileo, which actually had 3 separate spacecraft. This one here is called the Galileo Station, but there are actually 2 spacecraft in this little piece alone. Right here, I'm not quite sure if you can see it, where my where this docking port is, separates these 2 craft. And if we go out to the orbital map, we have yet another craft that's separated much earlier, called the Galileo Diver, whose ultimate fate is to dip into the great clouds of the green planet and die. But I realized that before setting it on a direct collision course, we might be able to do some more science with it as well. Galileo, or rather Jupiter, has... I'm sorry, not even Jupiter, but Jool. Let's see if we can get a good look at it. There we go. Actually has 5 moons, and we have a full tank of gas with the Galileo station, as you might be able to tell. And so, our mission today is to try to explore as many of those moons as possible. So, right away, we're already seeing some of the moons as we approach the system proper, and fortunately for us, just by arriving at just the right time, it appears we're actually going to get a freebie. The 3rd moon of Jool, and the biggest one, is named Tylo, and its gravity well is so big that just by getting close enough to it, we are counted as being in its sphere of influence, and thus can grab even more science for free! Now, Tylo, I hear, is actually kind of an infamous moon in the Kerbal Space Program because of the fact that it is so big. It is the largest moon of any one of the planets, and it actually has the same atmosphere as Kerbal, or Earth. That is a really big moon. Now, you might think that it might be kind of cool to land on it, and I agree with you, but the problem with landing on something that big is that it has no atmosphere, so I can't slow down and use parachutes, which means that we'd have to create a monster machine just to try to land on it. So, needless to say, that's really challenging. Nonetheless, there's Tylo approaching over on the left. There we are. We are now in Tylo's sphere of influence, and if we really wanted to, I guess we could actually try to slow ourselves down using the jets, but we don't need to do that. We're traveling way too fast for that, and there are easier ways to do this. Nonetheless, there's Tylo right over there, so let's nab some science while we're here. Let's see. Material study? Should I? Oh, I'm sure I can spare one of my reports here. Definitely a gravity scan. We can do that for free. Lower gravity than anticipated. Interesting. We only need... well, no, I'll do multiple ones. And yeah, we'll do a mystery goo while we're here. There's no reason why not to. Let me just pick which one I want, which mystery goo I'd like to do. I'm gonna do one of the ones on the upper stage right here. I'm going to do this mystery goo. And bam! And I don't want to use one of the material bay experiments yet. We've only got 2 of them here, and then another one on the diver. And I'm not sure if I want to spend it on Tylo, because there are other moons that might give us a little bit more data. Actually, we can see some of them right now. Oh, I really can't wait to start really flying around these places and exploring them. In fact, let's not waste any time. Let's go do that now. There goes Tylo floating off over there. Oh, that's cool. Really, I hadn't thought ahead and brought in, like, if I was smart, I would have just brought a whole bunch of ships here all at once and had a whole bunch of different orbiters to go to all the moons, but I didn't think that far ahead. Like, I was only thinking about the big green Jool over there. So, we're gonna have to come back here with another mission, but we'll make the most of what we got here for Galileo. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, having flown past Tylo, we are now getting ready for our big phase of the mission. The results of this part of the mission will determine whether or not we're able to stay in orbit, crash, or fly off into oblivion. This is our encounter with Jool, and for the first time we are going to dip into the atmosphere of the green gas giant. Now then, we need to make sure that we hit it at exactly the right altitude, and right now I have our periaps going at about 117,000 rather. Apparently the atmosphere starts at around 128, so my goal is to try to get an orbit that's within the sphere of influence that gets us above pole. If I can get us above pole, then I will feel satisfied, because I want to have this particular phase of the mission, or rather the lower part here, go visit pole, and then go visit Bob, and then if it has any more fuel it'll go visit the other next planets as well. Now, don't let the size right now fool you. Jool is enormous. This planet is much bigger than the planet Kerbal, our Earth. Just to give you context, Tylo, the moon we passed a little while ago, is as big as Kerbal. So this thing must be huge if it's able to make a planet that big orbit around it. You'll see just how big this thing is very shortly. Ooh, looks like we have another opportunity for some science while we're here. Let's just start doing a science palooza. Okay, so we're approaching the atmosphere. It looks like we're going to approach on either the dawn or the dusk side of Jool, and that'll mean that we'll be able to watch the clouds as we sail past, and it'll be hopefully it'll be pretty spectacular. I'm hoping. It might be a little bit too dark for it. If it is, I'll bump up the gamma on the video. Oh, but I can start to see some surface features or some cloud features, which means we must be extraordinarily close to the surface. Yeah, here we go. I can even see the cloud features. Oh, this looks fantastic. If I could, I would set up it's like a space station right here, right above the clouds. I realize it would probably be too dangerous and it would probably fall down onto the surface, but that just sounds like that would be a lot of really cool place to visit. Yep, here we go. Wow, this is going crazy. Okay, we're gonna have to start burning a bit, I think. Now, this is incredibly inefficient what I'm doing right now, because I'm burning against the atmosphere here. In fact, this is extremely inefficient. Ooh, look at this! We might be able to pull off an orbit with or an encounter with Val. Oh, we can do some atmospheric pressure science now. Let's see, material study, atmospheric, temperature scan, atmospheric pressure, mystery goo, mystery goo, mystery goo, material study. No, thank you. Okay, we got it. We did it. We now have an orbit around Jool, which means that we are exactly where we want to be. Unfortunately, we did kind of use a bit of fuel that I had hoped not to, but that's okay. We're at least safe. And interestingly enough, we do have an opportunity, let's see, to get a orbit around, or a position around Lathe as well. So actually, I think we might be in a pretty good position here. In fact, I'm going to start taking the initiative to get some work done right now while we can. I'm going to start separating the pieces, which means that right now, because we are out of the atmosphere, I think, I'm going to start separating the pieces. So I'm going to first of all, I'm going to reopen the solar panels and push the station, now that it's on its own free volition, away. Because what I want to do is I want it to get it to encounter Lathe on its own. Alright, next up on the list of places to explore for our dear beloved station is none other than one of the moons of Jool. That would be Lathe, and having done a few calculations, I realized that we can actually get extremely close to the surface of Val. I'm sorry, I said Lathe, I mean Val. The plan is to get as close to Val as possible without contacting it. We can't orbit Val because of the fact that we don't have enough thrusting capabilities on this lower piece right here. And I think you'll see why, but I'd prefer to orbit Lathe instead. You'll see why. So I'm not quite sure how big Val is compared to some of its other moons right here, but the point is that we can conduct a lot of science while we're here and exploit what we've got. And it doesn't have an atmosphere, so I don't have to fold up our solar panels this time. Let's see, material study... We've only got one left, and I don't think I want to use it here. So let's see. We are going to do a gravity scan, though. Oh, and I'm so tempted to use a mystery goo experiment. Let's see, 27. I'll wait on this. I'd prefer not to do it right now. Now, Val looks interesting from a distance. It's very mountainous. It sort of reminds me of Minmus, actually, with the high mountains and then low, icy blues. But we'll have a chance to explore this place up close and really get a feel for what kind of place this is. Speaking of which, here we go. Dang, we're gonna come in really close. I hope this is safe. It probably isn't. Yep, here we go. We are entering the sphere of influence. Let me get a closer look here. Are we gonna... Oh, we're gonna come really close to the mountains, actually. Okay, here we go. We're whizzing through this area really fast. Let's see. Material study, no. Gravity scan, yes. Mystery goo, no. And a crew report, because of course we should. Oh my god, we are so close! This is scary! This is way too close, I think, for comfort. Shoot! Oh my god, this is terrifying! Can I not do a temperature scan? Oh my god, look at this! This is the scariest thing I've ever done in this game. Look at this! We are flying so close! That was terrifying, actually. I really thought for sure we were gonna hit. I guess I flew as close as we could without hitting the mountains. That was awesome. Ooh, look at that. There's Jool way the heck over there. Badass. That was badass. Oh, I'm so glad I came here. It was a very short encounter, mind you, but that was awesome. We really should bring an order down here. Really, what I ought to do is just bring as many possible things as possible. Like, we should bring orbiters for every last one of these moons back here, because this just looks awesome. And I feel bad because I'm not able to do more Mystery Goo experiments or more Science Junior experiments, because we just don't have the equipment to handle it. Or we don't have enough of them. And next up on the list is our old pal, the Galileo Diver. This machine is intended to jump straight into the atmosphere of Jool and die a most horrific and awesome death. However, we do have a few opportunities to do a little bit more science while we're at it. For example, what I'm trying to say is that there is yet one more place that we really haven't, I feel, explored properly. In my last mission to Val a moment ago actually validated my thoughts. I want to try to explore Tylo a little bit more than we already did, because I think that flyby wasn't good enough for my tastes. So instead of jumping straight to the atmosphere of Jool, I would much prefer to actually put myself in an orbit and then visit Tylo and then jump into Jool. That way we can get a better shot at really exploring these planets or moons properly. Okay. And I also have to be a little careful with this, too. I don't want to go too fast or too slow. Oh, look at this! Because the game's many mods are acting together in synchronous, they are causing the atmosphere there to glitch up. and strobe, a horrific strobe. Oh, Diver, you best get a good look at what this planet looks like, because in a few days, you will have a very intimate encounter with the surface. Oh, and it shall be glorious and fiery and doomy. What I'm saying is that you will be assimilated by a green planet that wants to eat you. So, this looks pretty manageable, actually. And our ascending and descending nodes are pretty tolerable, all things considered. There might be a little bit of work that needs to be done here to ensure that we actually have some sort of encounter. See how see how Tylo is basically on the opposite side of us right now? It's probably going to take a little bit of time before we have a chance to re-explore it, but at least we've encountered Jool proper, using almost none of our monopropellant fuel, and we have a second chance to visit that place. But that's going to take a little bit of time, so we're actually going to probably cut back to another one of our missions. So, here we go! Alright everybody, so the next phase of our Galileo Grand Tour involves visiting Lathe, which is only 1 day away from the Galileo station. Now then, the plan is to put ourselves in orbit around there and stay there forever. Or at least this probe will stay there forever. I'm not even sure if I can see Lathe yet, it's so far away. Let's see here. Orbital map, yeah, that is so far away. Oh, I see. It's on the opposite side of the planet because we are so far away. No wonder. This is Lathe, and you may notice that it's blue, and it has clouds just like Kerbal, and it has an atmosphere and land. So this place is actually sort of a doppelganger of Earth. Right here, all the way out here at the edge of the solar system, there's just this place that looks just like Earth. So this is why I want to visit Lathe. This is actually one of the main reasons why I wanted to come to Jool in the first place. We are going to use aerobraking with the atmosphere here and put ourselves in a permanent fixed orbit around this moon, the moon of our destiny. I'm going to retract our solar panels and our comms dish because, well, A, we're too far away from, well, like, the Jool's blocking the sun, so we can't actually get any energy from it. And also, additionally important, is that we don't want any of the stuff to get damaged on the way down, because we are going to have to scream through the atmosphere. And, it's sort of tricky to tell exactly how much we're going to need to actually, what our actual distances that we're going to need to do. In fact, I'm going to climb up a little bit higher because I was running into some problems earlier. So hopefully this will work out. Oh my gosh. The nice thing about this is that even though we might not use all of our monopropellant fuel, we've got a docking port. So if we ever send Kerbals out here, and I'm pretty sure we will someday, we'll be able to have them access some of this information here, or collect some new data, or basically make this reusable. So the station here is actually a reusable and viable space station. We even have a crew hatch right here, just in case any Kerbal ever comes this far and decides to take a visit into this flying portable house. Okay, so at this stage we need to start getting ready for serious birding right here, because we are going to go right through the atmosphere. I need to keep an eye on the periaps, because if it goes too low, we're going to crash. But if it goes too high, we will actually miss Lathe altogether. And I want to get us right in that Goldilocks zone where it's just right. Now, because we actually don't have our solar panels open, we can't gather any news. We can't gather electricity, and I want to make sure that we have enough to actually survive here. So I'm going to wait for a little bit to do some science until we're as low as we can possibly get into the planet, or the moon rather, and then we'll do it. So right now we're already in the atmosphere, because the atmosphere starts at 50 or so kilometers down. Oh, I'm seeing some mountains, and I'm seeing some auroras here too. Okay, we are slowing the heck down right now. Look at that. Oh, that is so cool. Those are the, I think that this is the South Auroras, so the Aurora Australis, perchance. So I'm going to keep an eye on our periaps right here to see how low it actually gets. Okay, we're already going back up, so that's about as much as we can actually grab. Space near Lathe, okay. Let's do a crew report. There we go. And let's quickly grab a thermometer reading. Unfortunately, we didn't get low enough to actually get any atmospheric data, but what can you do, I guess? Oh, is that enough? It might be, actually. Oh, maybe not. Hold on. Let's see if we can make this work. Oh, just a little bit more pushing, I think, could actually do this. Let's try it with our RCS, actually. Maybe we can slow ourselves down enough. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this! We totally got this! We've totally got this. And... hell yeah! We now have a permanent orbit around this brand new moon, and we are now in the sun, so we can start transmitting all this awesome data out. I think we are in the sun anyway, I can't actually tell. Dang it, we are still not in the sun. But we have our panels open at least. Oh, there we go. Now we're in the light, so we don't have to worry about that. So actually, let's look at all of the gathered data that we've got so far. Let's see. Review report. Let's transmit this. Let's just transmit everything now while we can. Review the data. We're going to transmit that. Okay! And there we go, everybody. We have a nice circular orbit about 70 or so kilometers above the surface, just like the stations back home. And now we can safely relax, assured that we have a new permanent residence here in this really magnificent moon. Oh, this is fantastic. And because the warp allows us to do more than 4, that means we are assured to stay above the atmosphere. Therefore, our spacecraft is now safe and able to do whatever we want it to do. Let's see, unfortunately we wound up using almost all of our monopropellant fuel, so we're not going anywhere now. But, at the very least, we can safely say that everything has gone according to plan, and we can now move on to the next phase of the mission. And we are upside down. Oh yeah.